Good morning. I am just getting myself sorted here. Awesome. So, good morning. It is really, really early, but I could not sleep. So, I decided to continue with our live stream, Bloodborne. Um, well, a lot has pretty much been going on with the scope of that playthrough. I actually had found my way to a new Chalice dungeon, which was a great farming location. And as you can see, I have built up my power considerably, where I'm actually able to hold my own pretty decent with pretty difficult range of fights. However, I am still very much in need of more progress, to say the least, to really kind of proceed forward. So when we last played, we enjoyed the exploratory measures of learning the cumbersome chalice dungeons. So we pretty much have a lot to go on with that. So I am quite pleased with it. But right now, I wanted to move on with the next segment piece of our playthrough. My cat being a pain in the ass this morning. But right away, you'll see that this new Chalice dungeon, which was used from the rooted Chalice dungeon, was a really old one. So, very difficult this one was, but unfortunately, I am not strong enough to really go further with it. So, but it is a great source of blood echoes. But I want to draw your attention, though, to the runes, as I found two unique runes in that Chalice dungeon, particularly the Fading Lake, which is the highest level 3 rune. There's basically runes that are kind of cumbersome into level 1, 2, and 3 in some capacity. This is the level 3 lake rune, but unfortunately we cannot access it right now because we do not have the rune tool, which we are going to get from the witch's abode. We also uncovered the Beast rune, which boosts the effects of temporary transformations. So this basically ties into the Beast Blood pellet, but also a unique rune from a DLC, as well as the Beast Claw, a unique weapon we will also get later on in the game. But we pretty much only had those, but I managed to find a plethora of really powerful blood gemstones. I cannot use any of them as of yet because we do not have access to the means of getting them, but for right now, it will suffice. So where are we going to go next? Well, as the description says, we're going to go to the Yarghul Unseen Village. For two reasons. One, because it is a very minuscule, small area that we cannot necessarily get access to at the present state of the game, but because of our initial play and our decisions to help Jurin find his newfound quest to be rather misfortuitous, as well as taking down the blood-starved beast, we have opened up the path to get to the Yarghul Unseen Village a lot sooner. So how do we get there? Well, first we're going to go back to Central. We're going to go back to the Cathedral Ward and resume our exploratory measures from there. So I hope everyone had a great weekend, and I hope you all slept well. Like I said, I was trying to sleep, but I just couldn't sleep. So I decided to get up. I got to get up in about 6 hours, 3 hours anyway, so might as well. So, right away, right from the start, we will be in this area here. Now, we would go out to the door there, but as you can see here, we have a new path. Now, if you recall, accordingly to the game's lore, if we remember what Gurman had told us, we need to find the old church. The church's old workshop, which this is going to lead us to it. So before we get started on the Yarghul village, we're going to go ahead and take advantage of this and make sure we do the business of getting up there. So how do we do it? Well, we're going to first take this ladder up, this elevator up, but we actually have another reason we're doing it, and basically what we're going to do is we're going to watch out for a drop, a hidden path. Just got to find it. I think it's right here, though. Yep, there we go. So as soon as the elevator gets to this particular point, you want to roll out here, because this is actually a hidden path you wouldn't be able to get to unless you knew it was here. So, but out here on this rooftop, you will find a few things. Number one, you'll find this path leading to the left over these roofs outside of this chapel. And you want to drop down here and then head through this passage over here, and you will find a couple things. Number one, you'll find a chest holding the Formless Odin rune. The Formless Odin rune maximizes your Quicksilver bullets up to 4. Now, there are 5 levels of the Odin rune, level 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5. Each level corresponding to the number of extra bullets you can get equipped in your weapon. So we're going to go ahead and just take that. And then over here, we will find a dead church messenger who will have the Messenger Urn Festival for your messengers. Another disguise, if you will. So go ahead and drop down. You'll take a little bit of damage, but that's okay because we kind of expected that was going to happen anyway. So right away, we're going to go back this way because we're going to take that elevator back up. Wait for the elevator to come down. There is a drop down there. It will then kill you. Board the elevator and proceed to the top. Now, directly ahead, there's going to be a wheelchair man. Excuse me. And he is armed, as you can see. So, we're going to take the wooden shield. Now, this is a rare instance where the wooden shield is going to be the only time it's useful, provided you're actually able to get around him. But only if you are not fast enough to get around them. But I like to have the shield just for this particular instance because we want the protection. It can really numb a lot of impact zones, but it's not really very much effective in that regard. So I would only use it as like a buffer, if you will. Open the chest and you'll find the Communion rune, which which basically, much like the Odin rune, will give you extra Quicksilver bullets. The Communion rune will give you extra blood vials. So we'll go ahead and take that. Now, an important thing to take into account here is going out on this bridge is rather risque. As you can see, there is riflemen on the upper level across the way, as well as a Gatling gun man. Now, actually, he may have a pistol, but even so, they're both very powerful, and they will kill you if you're not fast enough. So what we want to do is we want to run directly forward and cut past this one, break the line of sight, and here we are at the Healing Church workshop. Our newfound power will definitely make this fight here a little easier by scale, because it is kind of shifty. As we can see, there is a nightmare here. Go ahead and grab him, and you get 2 twin bloodstone shards. Head back around, and you will have a number of enemies inside here. We want to take our time taking care of them. Get rid of the riflemen first and foremost. That's important. Now, once you've dispatched all the enemies, it's pretty much evident that that is pretty much the scope of it and that rest. And over here in the corner, you will find a chest. Open the chest, and inside, you will find a blood-tinged gemstone. Handy in the instance that we will be able to use that for our weapons. Afterwards, proceed up the stairs. Be mindful, though, there will be a wheelchair man either with a rifle a wheelchair guy with a madman, actually is what he's called. He will have either a flamethrower or a minigun. Grab the quicksilver bullets off the body. As you can see, you want to be sure not to get caught in that volley, that salvo of gunfire, because it stun locks you and it just pours on the damage. As you saw there, we actually have a giant up here as well, so it's important to be careful with this passage because he can knock you off and kill you with relatively ease. So it is kind of a bit of a cheap kill for him. So we'll wait for him to... We're going to lure him closer, away from the gunman. Dispatch him. It's your nose. With the dead of the... Yeah, as you can see, that is pretty much the reason. He's got a giant-ass rifle, so he will instantly kill you. On this body, you'll find thick, cold blood, as well as the quicksilver bullets dropped by the villager. Now, our destination is actually below, but we're going to go further up, because there is more items to be found above us. First, when you get to the top of the ladder, head to the right. Make sure well, I went right. Don't go right, because you obviously know there's nothing here for you. So, instead, head left. Head past the door and around the corner, and there will be something here, I'm sure. Yep, I was right. Okay, left. More thick, cold blood. And then double back and proceed into the alcove of this tower. First things first, you want to avoid the wheelchair madman with his flamethrower, and you'll have a villager here as well, along with another approaching madman, also with a flamethrower. Grab the bullets off the bodies. And then we won't need this anymore, so let's get our torch out, because it is kind of misty up here. We can't see anything. Now, here, in this chest, you will find another weapon badge, the Radiant Sword Hunter badge. This will give us access to a unique weapon that will be very helpful later in the game. But we won't get that until we actually get back to the business of getting back to this of it. Now, here, this door leads to the upper cathedral ward. We cannot access this area yet. We need to find the key for it. So we will not be needing to worry about this quite yet, but we will revisit this location later when we have the key for it. So instead, we're going to go back and proceed down the ladder. Be very diligent not to run off the edge, because that is pretty close, and I can't tell you how many times I've actually went and ran off the edge after I slid down the ladder. So that is, it's a foregone conclusion. So basically, we're going to backtrack all the way back down where we were. And do you remember where we actually saw that little nightmare that we killed? Well, he was actually looking to get down here, so we're going to go ahead and drop down here. This is actually where we want to go. This will take us to the old workshop, but it's a bit tricky to get there because it's dangerously high up here. So we're going to need to really rely on a little bit of luck to get this here. So, first things of order of business is that over down there is basically where we want to go. We got a lot of drops to make, so hopefully we won't die doing these drops. But in the event it does, it's no big deal. You'll get your fix, and you'll actually be able to make it up there. So, right away, we're going to have a few things here we're going to need to grab. first thing we're going to do is we're actually going to grab these other items, so hopefully we won't miss these beams, because these beams are very kind of loopy, so we're going to go ahead and drop here. And then we're going to go slow about dropping here. And we missed. So, regrettably, you will, have that happen where you will miss your drop, and basically that is what will happen. But the important thing is basically we want to go ahead and drop down here, and at the very least get this item, Madman's Knowledge. Now it is kind of hard to see, but basically what you want to do is you can see if you got your TV brightness up a little bit, great. If not, then don't worry about it. Basically you want to drop down on this beam right here, and we didn't die, so that's good. But as you can see, that guy did drop, and he did not make it, so. And then down here is where we want to go next. Now over there is actually another threat. A beast-possessed soul. This is the only time you'll find a beast-possessed soul in a possessed beast. I'm going to just call it beast-possessed. A possessed beast. It's the only instance where you'll find the possessed beast in this area, so. But right away, you're going to want to run and you do the run and jump trick to get to that beam over there. And we semi-made it, but could have did better. So right away, right off the bat, we're going to have a few things here. Obviously, actually, no things here, excuse me. We're going to go ahead and take down this beast, though. So walk right up behind him and backstab him. And in his place, we will get a rune of the beast. So, go ahead and open the door and head outside on the lower level streets. Here there will be a few items that we can collect, including an outfit.
A night of curses. A night to remember. Wouldn't you say, friend?
People really have lost their minds. The blood will do that to you. So right away we're going to get our blue elixir equipped, because we're going to need it to get the drop on a new unique enemy. I just don't know where he is yet, so I'm going to be very cautious. But proceed down this path, and you're going to have some throws in your way. Go ahead over here, and you grab the rumpled yarn hat and the sweaty clothes. I don't really know why people... I have yet to see anyone wear it, but, hey, collections. We'll chalk it up to collections. There's going to be a dog ahead. Dispatch the dog. Now be careful, because up ahead on the right is going to be a snatcher. And you can hear there's also villagers that are wandering these streets down here. So we're going to go ahead and dispatch the snatcher. Get him out of our way. We'll get some bloodstone shards, and over here... I don't even think you would call these guys execution. I don't think you would call these guys villagers, but they're pretty close to, like, villagers, or at least what's left of them. Over there'll be two more. But over here, we want to grab the Madman Knowledge off this body. This will take us back the way we came. But our real goal... Well, actually, no. Our real goal is to continue where we were going. So, we're going to head about taking care of these villagers. And with the villagers dispatched, we're going to proceed over here down these stairs, but be careful, because up ahead there's going to be a brain sucker. Now, the brain sucker is the enemy that I referred to earlier. It is very dangerous because it can actually drain your insight and can kill you at the same time. So what we're going to do is we're going to drink the blue elixir, which will mask our approach. He will not hear us right away, but he will sense us if we get too close. So what we're going to do is we're going to sneak up on him. And there we go. And the hooded brain suckers, I want to draw your attention to the hooded brain suckers are very particularly dangerous, more than regular brain suckers, because the hooded ones use magic. Magic binds you so you can't escape, which then they close the distance on you really fast, grab you, and then start draining the insight from your mind. On the body, there'll be a fire blood gemstone. So bear in mind that hooded brain suckers are very more problematic than the ones that are not hooded. The hood is bad news, so bear that in mind when you're facing them, and hopefully you won't have your brain sucked out. But once you've taken care of the brain sucker, we're going to head over here and take the elevator up. And we will come out on top of this outcrop of Cathedral Ward, where we'll grab the thick cold blood here and head on back this way. Go ahead and take the opportunity to get some easy echoes. Once we dispatch those enemies, just a couple more little kills, we're gonna go back to that little passage and get that item we left behind, regrettably. So let's go ahead and head back that way, and hopefully this time we will get lucky enough to where we can actually get the item we requested. We got 2 times we gotta go back here, because the first time we're gonna drop down to get that one little, I think it's a disguise for messengers. So we're gonna grab that. Then the second thing we're gonna grab is gonna be the hidden passage leading us to the workshop of the Healing Church. So again, head back this way, drop down. This is a bit irritating of a task for me personally, because sometimes I can get it, sometimes I can't, and it's really kind of just your luck of the draw kind of deal. So I think honestly what we'll do is we'll drop down here, and then we'll just drop down over here on this one. And I think we should be able to do it now. Yeah, this should be an easy piece. So cross your fingers. And just walk right off, and bingo. Messenger top hat. Yay, we got it. So we got that pretty much even keel there. Now I'm trying to see if I'll have to improve the brightness on the screen so I can see a little better. It's very difficult to see this thing. See, there it is over there. So we're going to need to drop down, because that is where we gotta go, and we gotta drop from way up there, and hopefully we won't die doing it. But that's the idea. That's where we want to go, and that's our goal. It is very dangerous, this dropping stuff. I really don't like doing it. So we'll go back up and do the same thing we did before, except we'll take a grander effort of care when we do this drop. And this particular one is relevant. Almost went off on my death there. This particular visiting this location is relevant to get one of the 3 endings. Prefer most notably the 3rd ending, so it's imperative to go here. So it's better to get it ingrained in your brain now to come here and get this item, because there are a couple things here we're gonna grab. So, and know we pretty much are just running in circles at this point with this, but it's kind of important that we do this. First thing we do is we're gonna kill this. Enemy, the Snatcher, because we might as well. He's gonna give us some Bloodstone shards, and I need some echoes. And oh, he gave us bolt paper that time. Okay, I'll take it. So once we did that, we're gonna head back up again, hopefully for the last time, and hopefully we will make it. I've gotten my strength up to where I can now use the Kirk Hammer, which is very handy in Cathedral Ward with the Church Giants, so because they're vulnerable to blunt damage. So drop down and head on through. Okay. There's our drop point, right down there. So actually, I don't know if we want to take the risk of dropping that far over there, because we won't miss this. We want to land on that tiny beam there, and that's really what we want to do. So I'm going to try to do this one or two ways. I'm going to try to walk right off and hopefully land. And if that doesn't work, then I will put on the monocule and I will just walk backwards gradually and just drop off that way. So here we go. Matter of fact, you probably want to leave a note here. Oh, I left my note. Let's see if it works. Bingo. Winner. Alright, and then just walk right off and drop right here. And you are at your destination. Open the door and head through. Now down here. Now doesn't this look familiar? A well-hidden little garden courtyard in the sanctity and shadow of the Healing Church. And it looks awfully like the Healing Church workshop. Well, the Hunter's Dream, more like, actually. But what we're going to find here is pretty evident to the fact of what we're here for. So right away, you'll find that there's really not much to look at first glance. But what you will find over here in this little makeshift where the messenger bath would be is a chest. Inside the chest, you will find the doll's clothes. Now, if you're playing with a female hunter, that's all well and good. But I am not dressing my male hunter up in a doll. So, but collections. Up here at the top, in front of this unique gravestone, you will find an old hunter bone. which is another unique magic. It's a magically powered item, which I will equip and show you at a later time, because it is very cool. But it uses Quicksilver bullets to use it for a temporary period, so. And right away, over here, inside this place, you will find in this cabinet a small hair ornament, which we will take and give that to the doll. And then over here, we will find 1/3 of umbilical cord. Now, the umbilical cords are acquired in 4 different ways. This one is one of them, which you need 3 umbilical cords to get the true ending. Which, you know, as it goes, 1/3. So 1, 2, 3. You need 3 umbilical cords. The other 3 you get from sending all the victims to Odin Chapel, or the other one you get from sending all the victims to Yusefka's clinic, and then the very last one you get by beating one of the main bosses of the end of the game. So this is one of them. Over here, you'll find the doll, which is not alive, but seemingly looks it. Go ahead and light the lantern, and we have a new access point to traverse from. So we're going to go ahead and port back to the Hunter's Dream now. And now I haven't gone to the Yarghul Unseen Village yet, so we're going to head there next. But I just want to get that part out, done and over with. So right away, we're going to have many blood echoes to use. We're going to use those. And we're going to use the 2 Madman Insight. We're going to use the umbilical cord, which gives us 3 Insight. Now, bear in mind, I am going to go for the first ending of the game. I am not going to use the umbilical cords. I will use them to get Insight, but I will not use them to get the true ending. First ending first. Right away, right off the start, we will find ourselves, we can now purchase Bloodstone Shards to upgrade our weapons. And also, we have access to a unique weapon with the Radiant Sword Hunter badge of Ludwig's Holy Blade, which we need 20,000 echoes to purchase. We also have access to Ludwig's Rifle, which is much like a blunderbuss, but it has a very, much like how shotguns use buckshot, the Ludwig rifle works like a slug, so it is effective at longer range, but not as impactful as the blunderbuss is. But it is very powerful. As you can see, the blunderbuss you need 7 strength to use it, and 5 shot damage, pretty much. Ludwig's rifle does 9 shot damage. You need 9 to use it, as well as skill 9 for the blunderbuss and 10 for Ludwig's rifle. But in mitigation of the damage of the blood tinge is not very good on it. So, but we'll go ahead and purchase that for now. And then over here we have a new outfit in the form of the Tomb Prospector. So if you remember Oleg, who helped us in the Chalice Dungeon, this is his outfit. We can now purchase that. So we will get around to that later.
I must have drifted off. What is it you desire?
Now, once you get this, we're going to give the small hair ornament to the doll. Because the idea behind it is it was a gift to Gurman's apprentice, Lady Maria. And I guess her passing, she kills herself in the game. But he basically, I think, if I'm understanding the lore right, he basically created the doll in her likeness to sort of remember her by. So the hair ornament kind of holds some significance to her because it shares her memories with Lady Maria.
What? What is this? I can't remember. Not a thing, only I feel a yearning, something I never felt before. What's happening to me? Tell me, Hunter, could this be joy?
And then from her, you will get the Tear Stone, which will be a blood gemstone unique to her in a character sense. So we'll go ahead and over here and find it, I believe, in our... I'm not sure where it is. Doesn't seem like we... I think we got it. I mean, well, it's not in our inventory, so I don't know where it is. Okay, here it is. And now we have Tear Blood Gemstone, which will give us an added level of power in that measure. So go over here and fortify your weapons with we'll fortify our saw spear, and we'll go ahead and fortify the Kirk hammer. And then we will go ahead and put the... what we have for use. Go ahead and improve some of our weapons before we go into the next area of the game. HP continues to recover, so that weapon basically is keen to helping your HP. So if you have an issue with health issues, you know, that is a great thing to have. In the back of the church, though, you will find, I think, Ermin sleeping. Nope, no sign of him yet. Now we got that new messenger hat. We're going to go ahead and put that on him. Oh, I already got that. That's not it. Messenger urn, red messenger top hat. I kind of like the other one better. The black messenger hat. Yeah, they look like they're wearing little hoods on top of their top hats. So we're gonna go ahead and go with that. And we'll go ahead and repair our weapons. They need repair. Nope, doesn't look like it, so that's good. And we're gonna head over here and purchase a couple blood gemstones. Why not? We'll do one at least. And go ahead and get those throwing knives. I've grown quite fond of throwing knives. So now, we're gonna go to the Yarghul Unseen Village. Question is, how do we get there? Well, first things first is we're gonna go to the Cathedral Ward, and we'll go from there. Now, this is probably the part that's probably going to really kind of throw people off. To get to the Unseen Village, you have to die. So, we're going to let the Snatcher kick our ass. And he will basically take us with him. Now, do not dismay, because basically, while it looks like you have died, he has in fact taken you, and he's going to take you to the village. Apparently, he's the only one who knows the way there this early in the game, so... Which, as you can see, we're inside his little sack, and he's taking us to the village now, after he laid us out. So, we have entered the Unseen Village. reason why it's called the Unseen Village is it's actually hidden by magic. Very bizarre concept. I'm not sure how it works, but you can't really see it through natural means. So once you have woken up, you'll find that your echoes are gone, but that's okay because you really ain't gonna need them because they're just 500. But first things first is there's actually a survivor here we need to rescue. Thing is, she won't respond or interact with you unless you're wearing the church garb. So what does that mean? Well, you basically have to wear either the black church garb, the white church garb, or Gascoigne's outfit. So we're going to put on Gascoigne's outfit and go find this girl. So once we get pretty much our bearings, we're going to head out through this cell door here. A lot of people here basically sacrificed themselves, and I guess they died. I'm not sure the concept of that, but that's at least what I'm picking up on it based on the lore. Over here on the body, you'll find thick cold blood on this hunter's body. Apparently another victim. Head down the stairs and take a left.
In the name of the healing church, cleanse us of this horrible dream.
We'll go ahead and turn that brightness off, though. We don't really need that anymore. Just dial it down to a 5. So right away, head around the corner and to your right. And there will be...
By your God, the healing church. You've come to save me. Oh, thank you, dear saint. I have no words to express my relief. You can take this, at least.
She will give you madman's knowledge when you speak to her.
Sure to please an upstanding member of the church like you. Oh, thank you so much, dear gods. Thank you so much. I was seized on the street by a hulking brute in the cathedral ward and locked up here. There were many others, but they've been taken away. And I've heard moans echoing in the distance ever since. So, the hunt is on tonight. Then the streets are perilous, and every door will be shut tight. Perhaps it isn't my place to ask, but do you know somewhere that might take me in?
At this point, like the other survivors, we can send her to either Odin Chapel or Yusefka's clinic. I'm going to send her to Odin Chapel. It kind of is not relevant, but you can get vital elements from her later on, so we'll go send her to Odin Chapel.
Oh, thank you so much. I'll set out as soon as I can. I pray for success on your hunt, kind hunter.
So, right then, it's pretty much a foregone conclusion. We can go ahead and take this outfit off now and get back to business as usual. Over here, on the body, you will find more frenzied cold blood. And that is pretty much it. As far as with this inner sanctum, it's pretty much nothing but going up from here. So double back the way you came. Over there is your cell. And then over here, there is actually a note on the ground, which we'll read. Madmen toil... Oh, wait a minute, is that... Oh yeah, madmen toil surreptitiously in rituals to beckon the moon, uncover their secrets. So basically, a lot of shit was going on here where they were trying to call on something with the moon, and of course they used a lot of sacrifices. At least that's how I'm understanding it. These poor bastards, like, by the thousands, as far as I can see. You won't see them now, you gotta go further up to find them, but we'll find them eventually. But once you get to this point, you will find a circular staircase leading up. Be mindful, there are multiple... There is actually a nightmare here. Go ahead and take care of him out. And you'll get 3 twin bloodstone shards. Now in here... We don't want to go out that way. That is actually a hag, a witch hag. Not a witch, but a hag of a witch, who basically is trying to gouge out eyes They have a weird obsession for eyes. So, but we're up here, we're going to have a couple of snatchers we're going to deal with, which will give us more power and means of getting some much needed strength. So, remember to soften him up, but the minute he gets angry, you want to kill him quickly because he'll be more aggressive. From him, we'll get twin stone shards and 13,000 echoes. 1,300 echoes, excuse me. Go ahead and switch on the lantern so we have an easy access point if we should get killed again. We're going to change our weapon, go with the threaded cane. And then here we'll have another snatcher. Another 1,300 echoes, as well as old paper. In the center, a victim, the moon. The moon is a very relevantly good one to have if you're farming for echoes. The moon improves the amount of echoes you get from slaying enemies. So if you're getting 50 from them, it'll up it up to 100. 3 levels to it. Very, very handy to have if you're farming for echoes. Before we go further ahead, we're gonna be careful and go around the right, because here's one of those bitches right here that's gonna try to carve your eyes out. She will drop 3 pebbles. Sometimes she'll drop other things, but usually she just drops pebbles. But that's okay, because we need them. Now, heading outside here, we will have a number of things. We will have dogs. We will have snatchers. We will have man-eating pigs, like this big fat bastard coming up the stairs right now. We're going to wait for him to bypass us, and we're going to see if we can backstab him. So let's go ahead and do the business. Ah, we missed. Or did we? Now with the death of the pig will drop us a good 3,000 echoes. A very good amount, which is kind of good. Down here, you will find a few items down here. 2 dogs, 3 madmen insight, and a new outfit that we are going to get. So, take care of the dogs first. Grab the insight from these monks. Now, this is actually where we're at is kind of the entry point to the Unseen Village. The Unseen Village is beyond this gate. This gate is going to stay shut until the moon is at its height and the moon is red. Then the doors will open. We will return here, much like we will return to the Upper Cathedral Ward. Once we have access to get that door open, this door will open too. Check the body, and you'll get the Yarghul hooded element outfit. Not particularly fan of this, because it looks so bummy, but it also kind of doesn't really have really in a good way of stats. I don't know. It's an acquired taste, but it does have good protection against blood tinge and thrust, but that's really it. Everything else is kind of serendipitous, depending on your playstyle, so I wouldn't exactly rule myself to using it, but yeah. Up here on the stairs, on the left, more Frenzied Cold Blood. Now we're going to go and grab a weapon that is in this area. Let's make sure there's nothing else we need to grab. So, head the stairs again. Check over here behind... Oh, no, this is out the way. Check over here. And up. And around. And you will find another body with more Frenzied Cold Blood. And then proceed... Before we go further over there, we're going to get rid of this pig because we want to get him when he's cornered. Now, once we've taken care of the pig, grab the echoes, the blood vials, grab the bolt paper off the body here, and then double back. Now we can go up there and search that other area without giving our position away to the pig, because I don't want to ruin the element of surprise. First thing is going to be over here. It's important to pay attention to this because this is actually a crucial point where later in the game you'll want this as an ambush opportunity. So remember this point. That will come in handy in the future. But over in here in this room you will find a elevator as well, but unfortunately we can't access it because it's at the top. You have to activate it at the top first before you can use it. So that pretty much is those two things I want to show, and then basically we'll proceed with our navigation down the street here. Keep your eyes open on the side for ambushes because there are dogs and there are items that we need to grab. For one. So right away, just yeah, nothing here. There should be, there probably will be more. I think a lot of the items that I'm speaking about will appear later when we're actually revisiting this location, because it's really kind of not really blunderous with activity at the moment. There's not really a lot of items, but back there is an item we need to get, and we need to get these guys out of the way, so let's get rid of these dogs first. Now we can give our full attention to the Snatcher. Get some easy blood bullets. And get the bolt paper off the Snatcher. And then over here on the body, you will find your hands a Tantris. Tantris is pretty much, as it is, a mace weapon that is specialized in electricity. L1 supercharges it, so it really has no transformation, unlike most trick weapons in the game. This weapon simply electrifies it and it does damage. So in one respect it does blunt damage, in another respect it does electrifying damage. So very handy to have if you're going against an enemy that is vulnerable to both blunt and electricity. But I mainly use it mostly for the electricity element. So now our destination is to go over there, but we're going to go down here first because there's actually a nightmare down here we can get. Killing the nightmare will give us twin bloodstone shards. We need these to upgrade our weapons further. And frankly, I need them to upgrade them further so I can do more farming in that one chalice dungeon that I can't actually complete without help. Over here, there's a note. I missed this. Nightmarish rituals crave a newborn. Find one and silence its harrowing cry. So basically, that is the next, pretty much the goal of the unseen village, is we need to find a newborn that's crying. We can't hear it yet because the moon is still not high enough, but as the game goes on you will hear its cries and it will permeate the game. Very haunting, but yeah, I won't give too much away because it's kind of relevant to the story. 2 more dogs will be ahead, including another Snatcher. We need to get through them. And there we go. Snatcher down. Bloodstone shards dropped. Now, the next part, we will encounter the witches, or at least the crazy old women trying to be witches. So we're going to go ahead and head over here, grab the Frenzied Cold Blood, Go ahead and use up all that blood. In fact, you got plenty of it. 6,000. 4,000. 1,800. Now we're going to open the door. And the reason why I didn't want to rush through this is because we're going to be ambushed by not one, but two of them. So we want to kind of get their attention. Now, she will give us a bloodshot eyeball. These are particularly native to their character, which they'll either drop stones or bloodshot eyeballs. That's usually what they try to do, is to try to get their hook in and try to carve your eye out. So, but these are ritual items for Chalice Dungeons, so we need these. Grab the pebbles off that one, and then over here I saw, yep, another survivor and twin bloodstone shard. So, once this door is open, we can head through, and we'll have a number of bodies, villagers, obviously. Go ahead and grab the blood vials, and over here grab the quicksilver bullets. And then here we have more villagers. These guys are not armed, but it doesn't matter. They still can do some damage with their kicks and their punches. Through here, there's going to be a kind of tight quarters with two snatchers at a time, so we want to try to get them pretty on the spot. What we want to do is we're trying to try to get them to try to kill one of them. Try to kill one of them while we can. Dealing with one of them is easy. Dealing with two of them is hard. So you want to try to get rid of one of them before you can even think about doing the other one. And that will be that. Bloodstone shards. Obviously that was the passage leading into here, but I didn't really want to take that path because it would actually make it difficult when they both lunge at you. So, but go through these broken down cells and head out through this cavernous path, and you will come out to a sort of courtyard. And this is another optional boss fight of the Dark Beast Parl. Now, basically, Parl is, I guess what they're going for is a giant werewolf / undead electrified monster. Very hard to fight him if you don't know what you're doing. But like any other beast monster, it is a beast. So what is it going to be vulnerable to? It's going to be vulnerable to fire. It's going to be vulnerable to serrated weapons. So those are pretty much evident. But the big threat we have to contend with is his lightning. So, but luckily for us, we got a little bit of thing to help us with that in the form of Henwick's outfit. So we're going to put on Henwick's outfit. Now, Henwick's outfit will give us a significant protection against bolt. So we will have good proportionate protections from that. Not so much in the way of physical protection, but if you're careful and you do it right, you won't really need to worry about it too much. We're going to go ahead and equip. We'll take care of the monocular. We don't really need that. We are going to need oil urns. We are going to need Molotovs. We are going to need fire paper, which we don't have any, but it's okay. We'll make do. And we're going to need our flame sprayer. And then we are going to see about doing... Maybe we'll do the blunderbuss. We got enough power with that. We can actually get away with that. And we'll go ahead and use the old hunter bone. Well, no, not yet, because we want to save whatever bullets we got for the freaking issue of taking care of Parl. So we'll go ahead and get ourselves ready for this. Now, the second he gets up, he's going to electrify. Now, the trick to beating him, relatively speaking, is you want to try to get as many hits on him on his head as you can. This will do two things. Number one, it will stun him and actually open up windows where you can actually visceral attack him. If you can get his head, much like how we did with the cleric beast that we first encountered in the game. The other thing it will do is it will cancel out his lightning. His lightning will fizzle out if he takes enough damage. This will not only weaken him to damage and make him take more damage, but it'll also make his attacks that much more less lethal. But you probably will only have a couple minutes, a couple of seconds for a couple of hits to do some significant damage. By then he'll jump back and he'll re-electrify himself. So another thing is to stress this is to get away from him when he starts to arc, and he's going to let off, because when he arcs up his electricity, he's going to let out a huge area of explosive, an area of attack explosion. If you're caught in this, chances are it will kill you. If you're lucky, you won't get killed. But when you see him arc, you want to get out of that zone of explosion, because it will kill you. So we're going to go ahead and get ourselves situated with oil urns, and if we don't miss him with our Molotov, we'll get him with our flame sprayer. So, okay, here we go. Dark Beast Parl. Back up, back up, back up. I typically don't like to use a lock-on, because it is kind of sketchy with how it works. Now the second stage of the fight is electricity will actually arc and go in waves now, as you can see. Don't let him corner you. Jesus. Ugh. Gotcha. That made my heart skip a beat, because he actually almost got me a couple times. I mean, he's not really that hard of a fight in this sequence, but in the Chalice dungeons, he's a lot more of a pain in the ass. But taking down the Dark Beast Parl, obviously, you get Blood Echoes, you get the Sparking Hunter badge, which gives you access to the electrified weaponry, particularly the Tantras. I believe you also get access to Bolt Paper now, so you can purchase that as well. So that was Not my best, but I'm alive, so I'm kind of just glad for that. Go ahead and take care of all that now. We can take all this outfit off and put our old one on. So he is very aggressive if you're not careful. But you find yourself being caught in overlapping attacks, and that's what makes it difficult. I personally think the issue is for me in some capacity, and I'm not sure. Maybe there's other players out there who will agree with this, but the lock on camera makes fighting him terribly difficult because he is so big. And as I'm sure you saw, the camera constantly kept focusing up. I wasn't able to really get any real meaningful control with driving home an attack because I'm like really literally like right under his chest and his belly. Now in one respect that's a good thing because I'm able to avoid his attacks and deliver my own, but in the next breath it's dangerous because in the event he goes to do his little explosion attack, I'm at the epicenter, so I can't really avoid it and not risk getting killed. So if you have a hard time with it, just bear in mind that you still are running with relatively flawed and rather fragile weaponry. The flame sprayer will get better. The saw spear will get better. So, and then on top of that, that's not including the blood gemstones you get that will give you elemental powers of fire and such. So, I mean, don't get discouraged if you're having a hard time with it. It is a hard fight, especially if you're in the early stages. But as you do repeat playthroughs and runs, a lot of your performance and playstyle will improve because you will be able to telegraph his attacks and in turn answer with your own. We'll go ahead and open this lantern now and open this path, which will take us back to the back of Old Yarnum. This was that door, that big door that we saw that we couldn't enter when we were making our way towards the Bloodstarved Beast. So we're going to head down there now. Lord knows we kind of need to because we're hurting for blood vials and we need to replenish our stock. So let's go ahead and go get some. Bloodstone shards. Oh! Get off me, boy. Bad dog. One blood vial. And one bloodstone shard. Okay. Not really making out like a bandit here in terms with blood vials, but go ahead and put these oil urns away. Come on, dog. Another bloodstone shard. Damn, I figured these guys would be dropping me some blood vials here. Lord knows I need them. Come on down here. Another bloodstone shard. Okay. I'm kind of surprised. I'm not sure why I'm getting so many bloodstone shards. I figured I would be getting more blood vials than shards, but I won't complain. I'll take it. Because more shards I get, more I can upgrade my weapons. Alright. We could continue on, but I'm not going to go all the way down there for just a couple of patient beasts. So we'll just double back up to the passage leading to Old Yarnum, and we'll take the lantern from the upper part of Old Yarnum back to the Hunter's Dream. In fact, I think we got enough to buy the weapon of the Ludwig's Holy Blade and the Prospector Olek, the Tomb Explorer outfit. So we'll probably do that. So, right from the jump, let's go ahead and buy those things so we can get them out of our way. We're gonna see there we have the Tantras now in our shop. We can now purchase. So we'll buy Ludwig's Holy Blade, and we will buy the Prospector outfit if we can buy all of it. I think we can. Yep. Joy. And now we'll upgrade some of our weaponry. Repair it. And upgrade it. I think the one thing I'm going to upgrade is my flame sprayer, because that's going to be handy for when I face more beasts later on. And we'll also upgrade the bloodstone shards of the Hunter Blunderbuss. And we'll go ahead and upgrade the rifle spear, and we'll upgrade the Tantras. So, and the hunter pistol. Well, no, I don't. Yeah, the hunter pistol. Yep, we'll do that. And let's see what we got for gemstones we can change here. So as you can see, we got a couple. I got a couple of new ones that I got earlier, so that's kind of a boon. I'll take that. So, what do we got here? Reduce stamina cost. Physical attack up by... That's kind of weird. Why is it... Whatever. We'll go ahead and add some of these gemstones to it, because we're going to need these where we're going. Threaded cane. Nope, nothing there. We'll go ahead and add definitely want to reduce stamina costs, because that thing eats up stamina. Swinging that big son of a bitch is a real challenge, because that packs. I mean, it's a powerful weapon, but I mean, you lose your energy fast swinging that thing. So we'll go ahead and add that stone, and that will be it, I think. So pretty much that will be. Let me do one last check. I want to check this bath over here, what I got in there. Ah, see, we can buy bolt paper here now. So we'll buy a couple of that, and we'll buy 10 of that. So, good use of insight in that treasure. So, joy. I think I'll buy one more thing. Probably some blood vial. No, I don't need that. Buy fill my Molotovs. I could very well go to my stash and just get some, but I'm a lazy prick and I don't want to make the trip, so I'll just go ahead and do it like that. So, alright. Good opener. There we go. So now we'll go to Cathedral Ward. And I believe we will find the survivor we saved. I believe her name is the nun. I can't remember the name off the top of my head. We're gonna get something from her when we get there. Good morning, everyone who's tuning in. Hope you slept good. So over here, on the stoop over here, you will find that this fame is the one that we saved, so.
Oh, brave hunter. You're alive. Thank you very much.
So we will get the church bell from her when we speak to her.
The town is in disarray, but there are still people here. Together we await the help of the healing church. I cannot begin to express my gratitude to you. The only thing that I can offer is my own lowly blood. If it would suffice. Yes, of course. Coming close now. Take my blood.
Ah, Adela. So, now much like Yosefka's blood vial, Adela's blood vial is very unique as it has something special. So let me see if I can find it here. There it is. Restores HP and continues to restore HP for a short time. So this basically will just heal you, much like Yosefka's, except it'll just keep healing you in that morning. Good morning, Frosty Lovely. I couldn't sleep, so I decided to get up early and do a stream. We'll go over here and talk to the hermit.
Ah, the hunter. Thank you. So that holy woman, you told her about this place, right? Well, she don't offer me much in the way of conversation, but still, I'd rather see her alive anyhow. If you find, send him along.
So pretty much we have survived that. We have rescued that survivor. Now we will go about getting a few things in order. First thing we're going to do is we're going to put on our Molotov cocktail because we're going to go fight some enemies. And we're going to go ahead and get some pebbles. Oh, hon, I've been having a horrible time sleeping. I think my insomnia is back in full throttle. Starting to really get under my skin. But there's not much I can do about it. So now that we pretty much have done about that measure, we're gonna go to the next stage. Yeah, it does, but you know, it's alright. I'll get some sleep when I get home today. I gotta be at my groups today in the morning, so. Alright, he's got 500 echoes. I'll take them back, thank you. On top of the 1900. He'll take those. He'll also drop us some bloodstone shards, so we'll grab those as well. Grab the blood vials off the body, and then we're going to go about the next step in our little venture. There's a stairwell leading up here, as I'm sure you recall. I pretty much was dealing with that effort with taking care of the church giant up here. But I want to get this church servant's attention because I don't want to deal with the church giant plus him. So we'll get his attention and deal with him. It is. It's a threaded cane. It's a cane sword kind of thing, but it turns into it splits into multiple bladed whip. Here's another one. It's one of my favorites. It's one of the best ones I like to get in the early part of the game. Yeah, I like skill-based weapons, and this is a skill-based weapon. It's very, very good for crowd control. It's threaded, so it's got serrated teeth, which means it's good against beasts and werewolves. So, it's very handy in those regards. So I'm very glad to have the benefit of that. Over here, you'll find a church magistrate with blood vials. We're gonna walk quietly behind this church servant and stab him in the back. Be mindful of his repeating pistol. That's why I'm going slow. And backstab him. Done. And now with the Kirk hammer, we're gonna go ahead and Geronimo! Now, I could go pretty much down there and get more of them, which I probably will, but I won't do it right now. I want to move on with this next sectional piece. So, up ahead, you'll find new... Yeah, they always are. I know what you're doing. Oh, I threw a knife. Whoops. Okay. Yeah, I should have probably put my monocular on. So, there we go. Alright. So, up ahead, you'll see these other church servants. These church servants have unique kind of cross-bearing weapons, but the thing is they're kind of enchanted with a spell that causes frenzy. Now, what frenzy does is it actually is like a poison effect that builds, and basically what ends up happening is once the meter of frenzy fills, your blood basically just, I guess, explodes and kills you instantly. So it's imperative not to let the frenzy meter fill up, but they basically have this enchanted club cross weapon that basically they use as a weapon. So what we're going to do is we're going to stun lock them and immediately finish them. See, they're getting it ready. That's usually a good indicator. It's kind of their attack stance, so you can just instantly stun lock them and immediately finish them. Now, here, we have a path. We have 3 paths. The main path forward leads us to the next section of the game. Path to the left leads us to the Witch's Abode, which is where we will find our rune tool, which we need to get. That will be our next destination. But our main goal is to head to the right, because there is going to take us behind the church, which is where we want to be. Because there is actually 2 hunters there, there's a few nightmares there, and there's a few resources there we can get, as well as a unique outfit. So we're going to head to the right for now, and pretty much dispatch those hunters. Now, the 2 hunters... You know, honest to God, there's something unique about that, because there actually is a character in the game you encounter that kind of does reminisce that. Gascoigne kind of does reminisce that. You missed him. I don't know if you saw him, but basically we have Gascoigne's hat here. So got a very Undertaker-esque kind of Van Helsing kind of thing going on. So we're going to go ahead and get our saw spear out, because we're going to need it for dealing with the nightmare, and since the saw spear is our strongest weapon, we're going to take advantage of it. So right away, we're going to go ahead and jump across onto this chapel and deal with these crows. And then basically what we're going to do is, as you can see down there, we have a couple of hunters. There is one right there. Now this one is loaded. Now this hunter in particular is armed with Ludwig's rifle as well as a rifle spear. So not particularly an easy fight there. But the other one is actually right below us. You can see him right there. He is armed with a tantris and a wooden shield. So we're not going to go down the stairs, because they will basically spot us immediately on the jump. And I don't want to give away the element of surprise. So what we're going to do is we're going to sneak around and get them from the rear. How do we do that? Well, basically we're going to use the opportunity of surprise here. So as you can see down there in the distance, there is Tantris Man. And I believe... Rifleman is right there, as you can see, right by where my elbow is. So we're going to drop down here, and we're going to sneak up on him and get him from the rear. Now, it's imperative that we do this very diligently, because if we don't do this right, and the other one hears us fighting this guy, he'll get involved, and we'll have to deal with 2 hunters at one time. So drop down here on the left, and go ahead and see about getting ourselves in a good position for this. We'll have the old hunter bone available for this task, because this is going to help us with speed. Come get it, buddy. Done. And with him dispatched, that will be one less hunter to deal with. Easy kill. Now, the Tantris. Same thing from Pitch. We'll walk up on him his backside, get him in his shadow, and backstab him. Done. Easy kills. And he will drop us bolt paper. Now, there is actually a nightmare, I believe, somewhere near here, but unfortunately I think he got away. Nope, there he is. And he will drop us bloodstone shards, which will be relevant to our healing and upgrading of our weapon. Now, the next phase of this engagement is, we'll go ahead and check out these doors.
Bless us with blood. Bless us with blood.
Yeah. Yeah, these guys are kind of losing their marbles now. Check on this door.
Bless us with blood. Bless us with blood.
You can hear them in there reciting that over and over again. So we're going to go over here. And up this path here, we will have a snatcher in our way. I definitely want to get my throwing knives out for this, because I don't want this nightmare to get away. Grab the twin stone shard off the body of the snatcher. And there he is. Well, the healing church in this game, I guess, have this powerful... They do a practice called blood ministration, which is a practice of blood healing. So apparently their special blood can heal any disease, make you live longer lives, and grant you newfound insight. So it's a very bizarre, culty kind of feel to it. Drop down here and you'll grab the twin bloodstone shard off the body. Now, we want to go down there, but we want to be very slow about it, because we have a couple of things here. Number one, we obviously have an execution in the distance, a nightmare also in the distance, including this wandering executioner here. Well, here's the thing, though, honey. I think it turns them into monsters, because they're all fucking psychos now. You got werewolves running the streets, trolls, mutated dogs, corpses that should be moving. It's definitely a special blood, but it's definitely something wrong with it. But they're not going to stop using it. So right away, we took care of the 2 shooters. And that is pretty much that, so we're going to get rid of these. Now we're going to deal with the executioner now. So that is 1 executioner down. And what we want to do is we want to get ourselves ready to take care of this nightmare. I do not want this nightmare to get away. Ah, what's the matter, buddy? You mad? Come on. Bye. So when we got both the nightmares and we got the executioners. Beautiful. So right through this passage here on the left, you will find lead elixir. Now, lead elixir is a unique potion. Lead elixir basically makes you an immovable, impactful character. So here's how it works. As far as I understand it, because I haven't really used it a lot, but the few times I have used it, it's been actually quite helpful. So what it does basically is it makes you impossible to stagger. It makes you, I guess, like a rock. So whenever enemies hit you, they will do damage like usual to you, but you will not stagger. They will actually, I guess, hit like that. When they hit you, their attacks will be like this. So it stuns them. It doesn't stun you. Downside is you still take normal damage. Upside, and the other downside is it makes you slow. You can't run, you can't dodge, you can't roll, you just walk. So it basically makes you like a walking tank. But it still is only viable in certain situations with certain enemies, bosses in particular and such. Ooh, hello. Oh. So he pretty much has been snatched up. There's actually a hidden enemy here that you can't see, but this is actually another path we'll be taking later on. Yeah, it is a quite handy little thing. It's important. It's vital for a particular boss fight, and even more vital for a particular threat that we'll be encountering. It's actually handy against hunters too, because you'll face a lot of enemy hunters. But I will only use it in cases where I actually need to, like, really, have a firm foot in terms of fighting back. So, but we're going to backtrack now and head back up to the cathedral ward. We'll go ahead and get ourselves some blood bullets. And we'll go ahead and get started in the next portion of this part. Now, I could go back down there and get some more blood echoes, or I could go about this up here, but I'm going to go ahead and head to the witch's abode because we really need to get that rune tool so we can start putting runes on our character. The runes will improve our power and give us access to abilities that will make our fights much easier. So at the end of this walkway, you will find a bloodshot eyeball. So we will be entering the witch's sanctum at this point, so we want to be careful here. There's going to be a lot of riflemen, and there's going to be a lot of other potential threats. Grab the bold hunter mark off this corpse by the gravestone and continue on into this cavernous passage. Now, be careful when you go into this area next, because there's a very woodland area, but the villagers hide and camouflage very well amongst the tombstones. There's also a unique form of dog here, with bone, teeth, and talons, which makes him incredibly more dangerous and aggressive. So, I'm gonna head over here and dispatch this hunter with his rifle. That's one hunter down, and his hound. There's another rifleman, as you can see, like I said before, they camouflage well in the trees. But thankfully, my improved power with my time in the Chalice Dungeon has made these guys pretty much easy work to knock over. Now, if you actually come into this area, I want to warn ahead of time, it's important you don't come into this area with more than, I think, 10 or maybe it was 15 insight. I'm not exactly sure about the number, but if you come into this particular area with more insight than you really need, the witches will start casting shadows of and summoning enemies called Mad Ones. Now, Mad Ones are phantom in nature. They're not particularly easy. They're not particularly hard to kill. They die really easy, but they kill you very easy because they're so freaking aggressive. So before you come into the witch's abode, or these woods for that matter, avoid having more than 10 insight. My insight, that little eye symbol up there, is at 7. So you want to keep the minimum number of insight, because the more insight you have, the more crazy you are. And the more crazy you are, the more you start seeing shit. So, which makes you vulnerable to seeing enemies that otherwise you wouldn't need to really be dealing with at that point in time. So just bear that in mind before you do anything else, because it is kind of sketchy in that regard where you're going to end up with that threat. There we have a rifleman in the distance. We're going to go ahead and deal with him. And there's another one. So what we're going to do here is we're going to get our monocular out, and we're going to blow up that little oil jar over there next to him. Oh, that's amazing. He can shoot us through the stone, but I can't shoot him, huh? Okay, I see how it is. Now, it's important we actually did that, because it'll actually give us an opportunity to ambush these guys. Or at least that was going to be an opportunity. Yeah, it's kind of dangerous to do that, but it's kind of risky at the same time. It's kind of too good of an opportunity, because you can actually get them close together and get them with just one attack. But if you're not careful and they do spot you like they did me, a volley of 6 shots or 8 shots at a time will almost kill me. So I kind of wish they didn't catch me, but they did. But that's the best strategy I can recommend. Shoot that oil drum, it'll blow up and kill the one, but then the rest standing over there will come rushing over, and then you can ambush them. So once we've dispatched all the gunmen, there's going to be a lot of little things we can pick up around these tombstones. So take the time to look around, just because they are tucked away in some pretty tricky places that you wouldn't see otherwise. Grab the bone marrow ash off that body, the thick cold blood off this one, more thick cold blood off that one. Avoid the fire. Head up and around. Now just check. There's a lot of they're hidden well, so just pay mind to your position and look around. I know there's one here somewhere. Just gotta find it. Maybe I'm thinking too far ahead. Maybe I'm thinking that's the next area. I'll search over here on the left. Doesn't look like it. Okay, I guess maybe I jumped the gun a bit. Maybe I was wrong. I always think, oh, I take it back. I was right. Twin Bloodstone Shard there. So, I knew I wasn't fucking seeing shit. I knew there was something here. So, once we dispatch those enemies, you'll have this one last rifleman and his hounds. Quicksilver bullet and 2 blood shards. And then through this gate will take us to Hemwick Charnel Lane. Oh, you'll see some more wild weapons when I get my hands on them. So here, in Hemwick Charnel Lane, this is basically, I guess, a sectional addition to Old Yarnum. But this is where the witch's abode is located. Down below, those are not witches, but female villagers that are basically are kind of acting squirrely like witches. And I think we'll go down there and do a little bit of kills, but I think I might want to not go much further. I don't know. We'll see how far I get. I may need to revise the title of the stream, though, when it publishes to YouTube, because I wasn't going to actually tackle this, but I got some time, so I might as well. Hi. Avoid this fraud, because that will set you on fire. If the hit doesn't kill you, the fire will. Grab the Twins Bloodstone shards off the body over here under this makeshift guillotine. Bust the thing out of the way and get the eyeball. And then we are going to head... There's a ladder, but unfortunately we cannot access that. I guess they've been busy, multiple bodies.
Did you hear the graveyard murmurs? Then it's almost time. Oh, I can't wait. I just can't wait.
Well, she's special, isn't she? After you've had that very bizarre and uncomfortable conversation, over here you'll find a drop here of an elevator and a sort of dumbwaiter kind of thing. You can't access it from here, so we're going to have to continue on and find another way through there. Oh yeah, she sounds like she's like on cloud 9. I mean, happy girl, yeah. We're going to go ahead and change our weapon though. We're going to go right now with... we'll go with the rifle spear. This is my other favorite weapon, Frosty. A spear that works as a rifle. Another skill-based weapon I really like. So, once we've taken care of all these crazy ladies, we're gonna go ahead up here and encounter a new threat in the form of these witches up here throwing fire, but we're gonna want to wait and deal with the witch and her dog, the hound that's coming with her. Now, once we dispatch them, we're going to have this witch here throwing fire Molotov cocktails, so we're going to want to get around her. Use the tree for cover, grab the thick cold blood, and deviate to the right and up the stairs. Avoid the fire as you go. Also, mind the other one with her little hammer. Thinking she's, you know, MC Hammer's grandmother or something. And we'll go ahead and deal with them. And then, obviously, this is the stairwell where the hound and the woman came down, so we won't need to really worry about that. But we will have to worry about an ambush. Which will be with this troll here. And there's the ambush. So we're gonna grab the blood vials off the troll and then head up, ignore the gate, head right, break, contact there. Oh, I guess I was out of range there. And deal with her. Done. And then once we had that, we're gonna go back up the way we came, and we're gonna head over here. And over here on the left, I believe there is, yeah, there it is. Drop down here, grab the twin bloodstone shards off the body, and then double back, because we're going to get access to that elevator next. Over here, beyond these gravestones, hidden amongst them, will be a small path. Mind your left side, because there will be a witch lying in wait to carve your face up. Dispatch her. Yeah, you're probably right. I should probably change my clothes. There. Well, can't do nothing about my face, but, you know, whatever. Right down here, there'll be a series of ravens. Go ahead and dispatch them. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna mix it up. Go with the hunter axe. So there we have the ravens taken down. Grab the pebbles off the left. Be mindful on your lefts as you go around this side here, because there's a drop-off. You don't want to have that kill you. But over here is the elevator. So take the switch and ride the elevator down. But then take it back up, because we're going back up to continue our exploration. The gate that we saw earlier with the troll and the witch molotoving us, we cannot open it from that side. So don't worry about that. We can't open the gate from that side. We have to go around. So this is the long way around. Of course, you can get a hit on you, immediately intercept her with a shot, and then Fist will attack her. Grab the bone marrow ash behind this tombstone, and then over here we have a troll. I do not want to go across this bridge, because I do not want to get the risk of getting knocked on my ass and sent to my death. So there we go. God damn, dude. You just die, man. Oh, I'm gonna kick your ass, lady. Thank you. Way too thirsty. So up there, we will see there is a passage there. After you dispatch this little ragmuffin, try to barbecue us. Pass through this little barn house, and you'll see immediately you'll be attacked by this hound. And this broad, who I knew was hiding in the stalls, but I couldn't see where she was. She must have been over there against the wall. I walked right past her. Up above us, you will hear there is a man in a wheelchair, likely armed. What we're gonna do is head up. Yeah, I know. The hound is always nice, isn't he? Another nightmare. Go ahead and take the opportunity to get him before he gets away. Twin bloodstone shards in our forte. And then over here, take the stairs down, and then across slowly. Use the beams to walk on the other side. If you can't see, break out your torch. And then immediately here on the right, before he gets a shot. After you dispatch with the wheelchair man, go out here and grab the Madman Knowledge off the corpse. And then over here on the right, another Adept Blood Gemstone. Run across, back the way we came, and proceed forward. And on the left, you will find another corpse with a bloodshot eyeball. Now, this is where it gets a little risky, because we're going to be on a cliff. There will be villagers lying in wait to attack us, so we're going to go ahead and take our time with this very slow, because we can get killed if we're not careful. We're basically on the rooftops, but ironically, somehow or another, the rooftops end in this bluff here. So right here is where it gets a little risky, so be careful. As you can see, there's our hammer girl again. Come on, sweetheart. I know, you're nervous too, huh?
Come out, you foul beast!
I keep forgetting that jump attack doesn't really work as good as it should. So, but, what are you gonna do? In the distance here, draw your attention to this castle. This is another destination we will be visiting later in the future. This is Canehurst Castle. This is where the Vile Bloods are located. This is going to be pivotal to Alfred's quest and his Master Ligarius. So if you remember Master Ligarius, the quest line, they have his hunt of Vile Bloods. This is where we're going to be going to solve his quest. So, but that is another quest line for another day. We're going to go ahead and equip our. Got our rifle spare. We'll go ahead and put our saw spear back on. I'll stick with the rifle spare though, because the thrust weapon damage is good. Be very careful going forward around, because we still have more threats. Matter of fact, we want to have this handy for a few hounds that'll be coming. Dispatch the villager and grab the cold blood dew off the body. In the distance, you will have a few potential threats. Number one, obviously note the troll, which is evident, as well as the villager and the hounds coming. We're going to go ahead and deal with the troll first. But engaging him will get the other one's attention, so be ready for them to respond. This woman will throw Molotovs. There's also this one here. Don't be worried about don't be ashamed to lure them away, because it actually will give you some breathing room to deal with them one by one. Grab the blood vial she drops. Grab the twin bloodstone shards over here on this corpse with the stone. Now, go slow. Around the corner is another ambush. Backstabber. With her defeat... Oh, get off me, lady! Get off of me! More bodies. So, in here, we'll pretty much will be going outside, and we will encounter a few in the form of these executioners. But before we get into fighting them, we want to open up the path to get here a lot easier. So head over here to the switch before you engage them. Open the gate. So you don't have to take the long way around anymore. The direct shot straight to this point. Head over here and grab the thick cold blood off of the body. and then we will go ahead and deal with the executioner. Hey, it's a messy job slaying monsters. What can I say? Dispatch the one executioner and get 3 blood vials. The other executioner is going to basically just roam this area here, but we're just going to get rid of him real quick. Get rid of him. Done. Grab the blood vials he drops. And immediately you'll notice a few things. Number one, we want to grab ahead and grab our Molotovs. Because in the distance over here will be a couple dogs. Easy opportunity for easy kills. Well, we got one of them. I was kind of hoping we would get the other, but I'll take what I can get. A good message, unlike regular dogs, hounds, hunting hounds are particularly easy to get around to their flank and get them from the side, as you saw me do. So if you're having a hard time with their aggression from the front, try to get to their side and attack from the left or the right side. Over here, grab the bone marrow ash off of this corpse. And in the distance here, we will have another... I think it's so weird that the Molotov doesn't really affect him, but it affects me. But, what are you gonna do? It is what it is. Over here is some oil drums, so if you're really feeling brave in the future, I'll try to experiment with this theory, but you may be able to kill these enemies here by shooting these oil drums using your monocular, but I don't want to get too far ahead of myself with strategy in this regard, so over here on the stones, grab the thick cold blood. Now, this is a very nerve-wracking process, but out here there is actually another rune we can grab, so we're going to walk very carefully out here to grab this rune, because if we don't, we'll die, and we get the lake rune, then just walk right back. I don't like doing that because it makes me nervous. I'm going to press it too hard and I'm going to fall to my death. But we'll have the lake. The fading lake rune gives us fire damage reduction. The lake rune is the early stage. It's a level 1 rune. So this one will give us physical damage reduction by 3%. So another good prize for us to collect. Yes, you saw water. No, I'm not going for a swim. I am not. No. Shut up. Don't you start. So head up here, this path here, and on the left, or is it the right? I think it's the right. Yep, on the right here, there will be a small break in the fence and a passage leading into this area. And we're going to go ahead and encounter another executioner. And he's going to grab us and cut our head off, but luckily we don't die. Funny how that works. Once you kill him, open up the chest, and you'll find a tempering blood gemstone. Lie in wait, because if you're quiet, you will hear the approaching of witches coming down. I believe they're coming down, or they may come on. They may double back, I don't know. And it looks like they're doubling back. Bitch. Oh, that's my alarm. Gotta get me killed, buddy. So, once we dispatch those, all potential threats in this area are going to be pretty much pacified. The only thing we have to contend with now is the nightmare, which we will hopefully be able to get. If he drops down. There he is. Sorry, buddy, but I need you. And with him, we will have Twins Bloodstone Shards. So, now, here we are in the witch's abode. Now, the second we enter this room, the witch will summon a mad one to attack us. There is actually not one witch, but two witches. They're twins. So, they are cleverly hidden in this room because they cast a spell which makes them invisible. The only way we'll be able to see them is we have to get close enough to make them visible to us. Now, if we kill the one witch, I believe the second witch will attempt to resurrect her, or she will immediately appear, she'll manifest and take over the remainder of the fight. So we kill one witch, that's half the health bar. The second witch we kill will be the other half of the health bar. The other part to take into account, though, and this is important for strategy, do not kill the mad one. If you kill the mad one, every time you kill a mad one, another one will be spawned along with him. So, 1 will multiply to 2, 2 will multiply to 3, 3 to 4, and so on. So it will make it increasingly difficult. Now, the bad ones do not pursue you in great speed. They're very slow and kind of, very kind of the Michael Myers-esque, stalking you very slow at their own pace. But they're very easy to dispatch if you can get them on their own terms. But in this particular fight, you don't want to kill the mad ones, because if you kill too many of them too many times, their numbers will overwhelm you. And like I said, they may be easy to kill, but they hit like a dump truck. The term I believe we're familiar with is glass cannon. So that is basically it. Now, once we kill the first witch, the second witch will ramp up the energy of her attacks. Basically, she will continue to summon mad ones like usual, make herself invisible, but she will also cast a spell which will bind you and keep you frozen, at which point she will rush in to attack you and try to carve out your eye with her little hook blade like we saw earlier at the Unseen Village. So they're not particularly got any real vulnerabilities, just tear them up. So we're going to go ahead and use the rifle spear for this job. We're not going to really need anything else. And yeah, go to work. So here we go. Right away, there's a mad one. Now, we do not want to engage him. He basically doesn't know where there's our witch right there. Like clockwork. But you can do a couple attacks to her, but then she will teleport away. So we need to find her. Now, obviously, the bad one is going to be pursuing us at this point. Trying to track us, as he sees us. So now he's basically going to be trying to pursue us. So we need to find the witch. And there she is. If you get too close, she will launch that attack. Oh, that was easy. That was an easy visceral attack. Now, as you can see, periodically they will summon more, but it's imperative to not engage them if you can help it. I believe that is the first stage of the fight. There's the other half. There's the second witch. Where you at, sweetheart? she's teleported away again. Now we gotta find her. So here's the second witch. When you see the lows, immediately you want to dodge. Try to get her with a backstab if you can. That'll make the job easier. She also can resurrect her sister, as you can see. And she got us. Ah, you bitch. She's gonna carve out my eye. Now, if you press the buttons rapidly, you can actually minimize the damage she does. Jesus, lady, you're fucking up your own sister. Done. Hey, got a bit of an explosion echo there. I think that was a bug. But as you can see, the second you kill the first witch, that was another thing I forgot to mention. The second witch will actually have the power to resurrect the first witch with a little bit of health. So, to prolong the fight. I'm a little surprised though, because I would have remembered if they could summon more mad ones, but I think maybe it's later playthroughs they're not able to do that, but I could be wrong. Again, there's a lot of things I'm still kind of remembering about this game, but relatively speaking, I think that was pretty decent. The backstabs were very nice to get though, because they made the fight a lot shorter. So once you go ahead and get that far, go ahead and light the lantern and head down into the lower level, into her little home or lab or whatever you want to call it, and she's been torturing this poor bastard. And you will get the rune workshop tool, which will be wonderful now, because we can actually finally get some progress with making use of these runes. Now we'll go back to the hunter's game, put that rune tool to work. As you can see, there's a lot of these little items, these new stones that have awakened with these other areas that we've unlocked. So these are all accessible points of origin that we can pretty much go into now. So right away over here at the altar, we will be able to use the rune to equip ourselves with unique runes to improve our power. So the first thing we're going to go ahead and equip is we're going to equip the moon for additional blood echoes from enemies. We're going to equip the physical damage reduction, and we're going to equip the air because we're going to get more echoes if we do visceral attacks. Now we don't have a oath memory rune. No. It's fine, hon. You can always just check this out later on. It's going to be up on my YouTube. So we basically just took out the witches and stuff, and now we're using our runes. So the memory slot, basically, these are going to be the runes for the memory. And then we're going to have an oath memory. So these are going to be special memory. These are going to be special runes we'll get as we progress through the game. So that is pretty much what those will entail in that measure. So we'll go ahead and check and see what we can purchase here. We can purchase... Oh, we got bloodshot eyeballs. Now we can purchase from the rune store here. So that's good. And then we are going to see what we can purchase here now. Also, we can buy bolt paper and fire paper. Awesome. But we're going to go ahead and improve our power now.
Welcome home. What is it you... Very well, let me...
So go ahead and get yourself to a good strength with go ahead and improve your, like, well, we'll go ahead and improve our endurance, make our stamina a little bit better. And that is pretty much the limit of what we can do there, because our levels, I've been busy leveling up my character a lot, so what we will do is upgrade our weapons. So let's fortify our weapons. Let's fortify the Hunter's Axe. Let's fortify the Holy Blade, because that will be needed for where I'm going to be doing when I'm off stream. Let's fortify the Hunter Torch. Let's fortify the Flame Sprayer. Let's fortify the Threaded Cane and the Saw Spear. So pretty much all in that order. Then use what your echoes you have to repair your weapons. And then I think, you know what? I'm feeling brazen. I think we're going to finish this level at Cathedral Ward and move on to the next sectional bit of the game. So let's go ahead and buy ourselves some supplies. First things first, what are we going to need? Well, we got plenty of fire paper we need to purchase, so we'll go ahead and use what we get, and ironically we get 10 right there on the spot. Bang. Great. So, we're going to head over to Cathedral Ward, and we're going to take down the next section of our game. We're going to enter the Grand Cathedral. So, right away, right off the jump, we're going to head out here and get a couple more hits. Alright, so we got rid of that enemy, and we're gonna head back up the way we... matter of fact, we're just gonna bypass a lot of these guys. I could very well continue with it, but I kind of just want to get through this next fight and just be on with it. So, heading up here to the Grand Cathedral, we'll go ahead and open up the main passage. Sorry, boys. No admittance allowed. Now, this next fight will be the boss of Vicar Amelia. Now, Vicar Amelia will basically turn into a beast, as it goes without saying. However, she has a unique proprietary of talents. As it goes, she's a beast. So what is she going to be vulnerable to? She will be vulnerable to... She will be vulnerable to fire. She will be vulnerable to serrated weapons. There is also a period where she will attempt to heal herself, which we will need to negate. So what we're going to need for this fight is we're going to need the oil urn for improving the fire damage. We're going to need the bone marrow fire paper. And we're going to need numbing mist. Now, regrettably, we only have 2 of these, so we need to use them sparingly when she goes to heal herself. Typically, she doesn't start trying to heal herself by doing her prayer stance until the 3rd phase of the fight. So just as she's in the final stage of her death, which is where we're going to come in handy with taking advantage of this. So we're going to also need our flame sprayer, and we're going to go ahead and use the threaded cane, because I think that's just much more appropriate with the whip nature of it. She's a big boss, so she will need a means of actually combating that. So we'll go ahead and use an oil urn, get some blood bullets, and yeah, we'll definitely want to get that numbing mist equipped. Matter of fact, let's get these sorted proper. And then we'll put on the numbing mist. In the distance, you'll see Vicar Amelia. This is actually where this is basically where German said we needed to go. We needed to ascend to Odin Chapel. Yeah, ladies, you're talking too crazy. Now, as we approach her, we'll have this cutscene. She's praying, but then she feels herself transforming. She looks like she had a one-night stand with Bambi and a fox. I'll say. There's a heal. That is a wrap. And with that, we'll get the gold pendant. Now, the gold pendant we can actually break down and use as a blood gemstone in the form of the gold blood gem. And the gold blood gem will give us an additional radial power of attack on beasts, so it'll be handy against bosses that are beasts in nature. So right away off the start, we're going to go ahead and get this lantern. And that will take us to this little altar where we have this radiating skull, monster of a skull, and a skull of a monster or something. So go ahead and interact with it, and we'll get a cutscene.
Master Willem, I've come to bid you farewell.
Oh, I know. You think now to betray me.
No, but you will never listen. I tell you, I will not forget our adage.
We are born of the blood, made men by the blood, undone by the blood. Our eyes are yet to open.
Fear the old blood. I must take my leave.
By the gods, fear it, Lawrence.
And with that sequence, we have another layer to the story explained. Now, the night has fully resonated. The sun has fully set, so now it is nighttime. So we will return to the hunter's dream, and I will probably stop the stream at this point, but not before we discuss a few things. Over here,
Welcome. What is it you did?
go ahead and talk to her.
Others have told me about the church, about the gods and their love. But do the gods love their creations? I am a doll created by you humans. Would you ever think to love me? Of course. I do love you. Isn't that how you've made me? Farewell, good may.
Now, after you've completed that particular fight, you will have access to the DLC of the Old Hunters. So right away, as soon as you get back there, there will be a gift from the messengers. The eye of a blood-drunk hunter beckons hunters to the hunter's nightmare. A deformed creature will whisk you away outside Odin Chapel. So this artifact, the eye of a blood-drunk hunter, will actually enable you to gain access to the hunter's nightmare. Now, this is a DLC that I will not jump into quite yet, but I will eventually, largely because it will enable me to explore the DLC, gain access to even better weaponry. So, but that is particularly for that. Once you get that, head upstairs, and you will probably find Gurman out back of the church, of the workshop church. Yeah. He's not here either. Jesus, where is this guy? He's usually here. I'm a bit bewildered. Usually he makes an appearance by now. See what else we have for purchase. You can actually buy bloodstone shards now from the hunter with your insight. He tends to disappear. I don't know where he goes, but sometimes he's usually out back taking a nap. But his relevancy is important to the story and the plot of the story if you can follow it. I'm trying my best to follow it based on the lore I've read. So, but yeah, that's pretty much what that is. So, well, what we basically have now is basically the insight. The person we saw talking with the one called Lawrence, I believe it is, I'm not entirely sure who the old man is, but I think he is he's not the Pope, that's for fucking sure. But basically, as I understand it, he is a scholar who studies at the School of Byrgenwerth. Now, Byrgenwerth was studying the old blood to sort of understand it, or come to an understanding of its nature. So, Lawrence basically thought the old blood would be more of a tool, a means to create his healing church and establish itself as a predominant form of organized religion at its finest here that we're talking about, to really kind of bring wealth, healing, power, privilege to the city of Yarnum. However, Master Willem wasn't really very keen to go that far because there was still a lot they didn't understand about the Old Blood, and rightly so. So hence why he was telling them that they don't know much yet. Our eyes have yet to open. So fear the Old Blood. But Lawrence, ever the opportunist, doesn't want to listen to his educated old master, I guess you would say. So rather than heed his words, he decided to take his leave. He said, "No, I will not forget our adage, but you will never listen." Listen to what, Willem? Listen to the fact that potentially you're trying to fuck with something you know nothing about. Listen to the fact that you got a city that is practically a playground for monsters and trolls and werewolves and psychos of monumental disrepute. And somehow or another you think you know better. Okay, well, we obviously saw what happened. The Healing Church was established. The Old Blood basically established the path of blood ministration and the ritual of blood healing. And now you have a small apocalyptic event going on right outside your door, with most of your people who are inside going crazy, most of your people outside turning into monsters if they're not eaten, and regrettably you are indifferent? I don't know. But that is basically the antithesis of what we're getting here. The Old Blood is a very unnatural, otherworldly power. It clearly has an influence of doing great things, but at a terrible price. Obviously, Willem got wind of this, didn't want to screw around with it no more, and unfortunately, Lawrence, being the ever pragmatist that he is, didn't exactly want to take that line down. So rather than stick around at Bergenworth, he went off to Yarnum to start his healing church. And now here we are now with the Hunter. But what does this have to do with the Hunter's dream? What does this have to do with the Unseen Village? What's the connection? Why are we still continuing on this pragmatic path of hunting beasts when the problem is really so simple? Stop using the fucking blood. Well, we answered 2 questions and 4 more take their place. So that's pretty much where we're at, though. But what have we done? Well, we have explored and found the old church workshop hidden behind the Healing Church's workshop. We also took the liberties of taking down some enemies, including several hunters, behind the old way to the passage leading to the village. We actually found the village with the help of the Snatcher. We also found the Hemwick Charnel Lane and the Witch's Abode as well. We have taken down the Dark Beast Parl. We have taken down the Witches of Hemwick. And now we have also taken down the enemy of Amelia, the first vicar. Well, not Amelia. Well, not the first vicar, but you get my meaning. So we have done a lot in no shire than 2 hours and 30 minutes. I am very pleased with this. I'm exceptionally pleased with the fact that we have made such good progress that we actually managed to explore not 1, 2, 3, but 4 areas and knocked out 3 bosses. So I'm very pleased with this result. I definitely will give me a lot more ground to explore. Getting more bloodstone shards and able to sort of get my weaponry and gear upgraded. It's really kind of important because if I want to continue farming and I want to continue getting more powerful, I definitely am going to need to do that. I'm going to probably continue with my exploration of the Root Chalice Dungeon and probably farming echoes in the other world, in the city of Yarnum. But as far as the future, what will I do next time? Well, we pretty much already have a good idea of what we have done with these particular areas. So where does that leave us? I think we should go to the next Chalice Dungeons that we have unlocked. We haven't really gotten through all of them yet, but it is a good starter because we still have a lot more to get. We have the we have the Loran Chalice Dungeons, we have the Hintertomb Chalice Dungeons, we have the Lower Thumerian Chalice Dungeons, we have the Isu Chalice Dungeons. So we got a lot of dungeons to do. And I think the next time we play, we'll dedicate a proportionate amount of our stream time doing the chalice dungeons, and maybe occasionally catching up on current events with the quests. Because now that we've killed Vicar Amelia, we have actually found our way forward in terms of progressing with the quest line in particular. But also, we also have the password now for the passage leading out of the Cathedral Ward that was sealed to us, that we could only enter if we knew the password. Well, we do know the password now thanks to that vision via the old blood. So we have a lot to do next time, but we got a lot done this morning. So, but it is 6:33. I am very pleased with this. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I actually have to get my ass in gear because I have someplace to be in a few hours. So I'm going to freshen up. I'm going to get some fresh coffee. I'm going to cook me some breakfast because I am in a good mood. I'm tired as a little bit, but I'll live. And I will be having such enthusiasm to get back to playing it. I would have gotten to playing this Saturday and maybe Sunday. Oh, I will, hon. I promise. I will. I may even come home early today, so we'll see. But I would have played this Saturday, maybe even Sunday, but I was really tired, and I've been kind of I've been kind of leapfrogging between games. I've been playing Division 2, and with the new season they just released, the Mutiny season that's been going on, which a little kind of leery about that, but it's okay. And also playing a little bit of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. As you know, I played Assassin's Creed Valhalla on PlayStation 4, but I had not played it on PlayStation 5. So I'm trying to muscle on through and get that done, because the sooner I get that done, the sooner I can move on to bigger and better things like Assassin's Creed Mirage. So, but that's all I got for you. If you tuned in and you stayed around this long, I appreciate you. Thank you very, very much, and I hope this is everything you expected to be, and this continues to help you. If you're new to the From Software games of the Demon Souls, Dark Souls, Bloodborne, whatever, I hope this helps you, because I love this game. I think it's a crying shame this hasn't been remastered yet, but I think it should be, and I hope that it continues to be a huge boon and benefit to you in the future. So if you like this video, feel free to comment, like, and subscribe. If you have any questions or things you might want to suggest, leave them in the comment section. I will get to them as best I can. And until next time, I am going to call the ball here and get myself off and to doing other things in that capacity. So I am going to check out, and I will catch you next time for our continuing live stream coverage of our first run and playthrough of From Software's prize title, Bloodborne. I'm Savage Squishy 86. I will see you next time. Have a good day.